Good day everyone, this is Alvin again from the Philippines, and this video we will be talking about why Indonesia is not getting a placement in Miss Earth, and many people are asking me why. So I decided, based on my observation and based how I followed the pageant, I will be answering those questions through this video. And today this is actually a one-part video divided into three mini parts, which is all found in this video. And the first part is all about talking about the latest 10 representatives of Indonesia in Miss Earth, followed by the problems that I think that they haven't seen, I think. And number three is the solutions that I think could help in the selection of their next representatives for possibly in 2020. So of course, I really hope this could help, and let's begin. For the information of everyone, Indonesia started competing in Miss Earth in 2005, and for 15 years of participation, they have no placements at all. All representatives ignored. We have witnessed how Indonesia has emerged and became successful in other pageants, even winning crowns from Miss Grand International. We have Ariska Putri Pertiwi and Miss International Kevin Liliana. And the decade of the 2010s have been very fruitful for Indonesia after they have made numerous amounts of placements and even pulling their highest placement in Miss Universe ever. So if you go back to the latest 10 editions of the pageants, Indonesia has done very well compared to the previous decades. In the 2010s, this is where Indonesia truly emerged in all pageants except Miss Earth. So before we talk about the problem and the possible solutions, let's take a review and focus on Indonesia's representatives in the decade of 2010s, which means from 2010 to 2019. So let's take a look. Starting in 2010, they sent Jessica Aurelia G. She's really a no for me right away. When she was announced as the representative, it was a clear no for me right away. In 2011, they sent Inez Ilodia Maharani. Again, not a fan as well. There's just no spark in her. So, non-placement expected. In 2012, they sent Chelsea Liven. She did not win any medal at all, and just based on the overall styling, I would really say no. The styling specifically is just so off. So again, non-placement expected. In 2013, they sent Nita Sofiani. She was awarded as the Miss Ever Bilena and Miss Siama Hotel. She's actually the prettiest that Indonesia has sent to Miss Earth pageant. Beauty-wise, physical beauty-wise, she's actually my favorite ever. It cannot be denied that at this point, Indonesia certainly raised the bar when it comes to their selection. But when she was not called in the finals, I wasn't really surprised at all. I mean, she's beautiful. This is the first time that Indonesia got noticed through different awards, but still, no placement. Again, there's no hating here, and some might be wondering why she did not place. Let's not forget that those awards that she got does not give any additional points to get a placement. I mean, those are amazing and a beautiful recognition for Indonesia's representatives, but let us not forget that doesn't mean it will boost their placement or possibility of placement in the finals. It will still depend on the preliminary performances, where I think Nita did not deliver as much as we wanted to be. Aside from that, she competed in a batch filled with very competitive delegates. So if I will be looking at all the delegates that competed in 2013, I think Indonesia is close to getting that placement. To be honest, of all the Indonesian representatives, I think she is by far the closest to entering. Again, that's just my assumption and based on how I follow the pageant. In 2014, they sent Anissa Ananda Nushirwan. This is back to basic for Indonesia. She's just so for me although she won gold for Best in National Costume for the group of Asia, but that doesn't help at all in getting a placement. Again, I just wanted to clear the misconception about the medals. These are rewards, recognition, but this does not give additional points for preliminaries. So she won gold for National Costume in Asian group, but again, it still boils down to the preliminaries. No placement for her, another expected result. In 2015, they sent Belinda Pritasari, no medal, and then again, continuing the trend of another so-so candidate. So, non-placement, expected still. In 2016, they sent Luisa Andrea Suemita, another National Costume Award through the bronze medal, but then again, another average candidate overall. So I'm not really expecting so much from her, which is why her non-placement is also expected. And in 2017, they sent Michelle Victoria Alriani. It's great that she made it in the top 16 of intelligence and environmental awareness during the preliminary competition, but placing in one of three is not enough to get a placement in the finals, especially that the announcement in intelligence and environmental awareness is top 16. So I don't really see her going as far as top 5 for that specific round. So who knows, she could be somewhere in the bottom of the top 16, because again, 1/3 is not enough to get a placement. You need to do possibly very, very well. It's either top 5 for 2 events or top 10 in at least 3 in these 3 preliminary activities. So 1 is not enough. So again, non-placement expected. In 2018, they sent Ratu Vashti Anissa. Another year. This is actually the second year where I think Indonesia might have another shot at getting a placement, but then again, ignored. I think she's better than the previous representatives, except for Nita Sofiani, but based on the quality of the 18 qualifiers that made it in the finals, she might not have a good fight, which is why I understood her non-placement. In 2019, which was last year, they sent Cynthia Kusumarani. I never felt her presence when she competed last year, and that's a huge problem, because if you wanted to get a placement, you need to be noticed by the public, by the viewer, by the follower, and by the judges, of course. But she did not exist in that pageant. She did not perform very well. So seeing her not placing is again not a surprise to me. Now, let's talk about the problem on why Indonesia is not getting a placement in Miss Earth. First question, is Miss Earth biased against Indonesia? Is there a tension between Philippines as the headquarters of Miss Earth between Indonesia? A huge no for that question. I just think Indonesia is not working their hardest yet and not taking the pageant seriously, which resulted to continuous non-placement. Why do you think Indonesia has been successful in other pageants? It is because Indonesia is working hard, doing their best, and as much as possible very critical in selecting the rightful candidate, which I don't think is happening with the selection of Miss Earth Indonesia representatives. They may be good, but not good enough for a placement. In Miss Universe, Indonesia is working so hard. There's a lot of supporters critiquing, giving commentaries, training the representatives. So what do you expect? Of course, possible results. In Miss World, Indonesia has been a powerhouse in Miss World, and they've been doing their best, doing in almost all fields of the competition, because they are getting so much support and they know how to play the game in Miss World. So what do you expect? Continuous placement. Miss International. Recently, Indonesia has been doing very well, studying the flow and the game of the pageant, and they have understood it, which is why it resulted to their victory with Kevin Liliana and another continuous sets of placement. Same with Miss Grand International, where they've been doing very well, sending great candidates, amazing gowns, and still continuing doing some improvisation for the pageant. And I know Miss Grand Indonesia got new plans under the supervisory of a new franchise holder, national director, I believe. So I think Indonesia is on another path of continuing their placement or doing good in Miss Grand International. Miss Supranational, another pageant where Indonesia are really investing a lot in doing very well when it comes to the pageant. Again, I don't really see that amount of support and hard work being given to Miss Earth Indonesia. So I think that's one thing that they really need to change. I know it's frustrating not to see Indonesia getting a placement, but we need to accept the fact that they are not as competitive as other representatives of Indonesia in other pageants, and that's one thing that needs to change. So what should Indonesia do to get a placement in Miss Earth? Number one, I think there must be a complete revamp with the organization when it comes to the pageant activities, selection of finalists, judging candidates, and choosing the rightful winner. I think there must be a complete revamp to all of that. They must be following what's trendy with Miss Earth and what's doing good with Miss Earth and what is really, what kind of candidate does well in Miss Earth. I think they should study on that and work on that and apply it in their selection. Number two, Philippines as the headquarters of Miss Earth, and as a Filipino myself, here's a little bit of tip. Philippines and Filipinos adore super stunning representatives regardless if they can speak or not. Selecting a super beautiful candidate is already a huge plus factor. From Indonesia's candidates in the last 10 years, to be honest, none of them wowed me that much. Trust me, if Indonesia sends a super stunning candidate, I am 100% sure that she will be surging and appearing in all leaderboards for Miss Earth. But when we speak of beauty, we should not base it on artificial beauty like contact lenses and too much makeup. It must be a candidate that is beautiful even without makeup, which is why this must be a criteria in the screening committee of Miss Earth Indonesia. Candidates who will audition for Miss Earth Indonesia must have a round where they will be judged without makeup. Number three, physique is also an important factor. If a candidate is responsible of taking care of her health and herself, then she's also responsible in taking care of others. Having a beautiful physique isn't just about the beauty of it alone, but it is about the discipline of one's self, which is why figure and form is a very important factor in Miss Earth and is a very important criteria during the preliminaries. So that's another factor that they also need to consider in the selection of your representative for Miss Earth 2020 and in the future. Number four, intelligent and well-spoken candidates. As a huge part of Miss Earth preliminaries, this must be highlighted as well. You need to find a candidate that is very well-spoken and very knowledgeable about environmental issues. And just an add-on, as what you notice with the finalist of Miss Earth 2019, almost all who made it get a strong and inspiring backstory about how they helped and contributed to the environment. Someone planted hectares of trees. If you could not put that in the semifinals, it could be shocking. So which is why she placed. Miss Thailand got her own group recycling all plastics into new materials in her country, and that is just impressive enough for her to get that placement. That is more of having like an environmental advocacy, and that's one thing that I suggest as well. Number five, let's go back to the advocacy first, because some candidates just focus more on the eco video, which is good, but then again, it's very, very similar to almost everyone. But these ladies, planting 1,000 trees, planting hectares of trees is something different and something beneficial that they have already done, which is also very impactful. And this is what Miss Earth needs. Something that contributing a lot to the environment. Number five, behavior. This is also another factor that is part of the judging of Miss Earth, which needs to be applied in the national pageant. And number six, which is the last, catwalks and wardrobes. These are also important factors because we have seen many strong contenders in the past but failed due to poor performances when it comes to runway performance and runway activities. So that's it. These are my tips, my suggestion for Indonesia, and hopefully this could help in their selection of their 2020 representative in Miss Earth and in the future, and hopefully this could serve as well as help to other countries who are not doing well in Miss Earth too. So again, what do you think? And also, before I end this, let's keep a positive mind, because I always believe that anything is possible, and as long as Indonesia follows how Miss Earth do the selection of candidates, I am pretty sure that someday in the future, and hopefully very soon, Indonesia could also dominate Miss Earth just like how they did in other pageants. So what do you think? Don't forget to leave your comments below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and share the video as well. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe, because you'll be seeing more of these videos in the future. For now, thank you very much and have a wonderful day from the Philippines.